So I start dissecting all these card games that I'm playing, and I realize they all suffer from a lot of the same shortcomings. The art, although it's good, was all pretty generic D&D stuff. It's all in those worlds, and they don't really have, a feeling of depth. There's no real world they create. There's no real cohesion between the character cards, and without a connection or story, I'm trying to figure out what people are, really feeling about these games that's drawing them to them. So I figure it's got to be the play mechanics, the social connectivity, the competition, getting your ego involved a little bit and wanting to be better and have a stronger hand than the friend you're playing with. That's what keeps people coming back to these games. So now I figure if you take that play mechanic that everybody loves and you make it, something that's a little more by putting it into the world of Mario Italiano, making Capital City come to life and let the player play through it at their own pace. How cool would that be? So, one of the things we focused on right away was building that story in, taking that world that we developed as a comic and making it real for the player. So we went into this huge map, the map of Capital City. We came up with 24 regions, and 4, sides, north, south, east, and west, which are all held by very different bosses. So the player picks a side and then they go into the city. But they can move through the city however they want. It's the first time I've ever seen a sandbox style mission progression being done in one of these types of games. It's really weird and tricky to do, but we pull it off, and I think it'll be very rewarding as a unique experience to the player.
Yeah, one of the main problems that I was having with these kind of games is I felt like they were like you said, the gameplay was way too linear. The mission play, it just became boring. There was very little reward. So one of the things that we really implemented was these boss battles. And these boss battles are all basically you progress through the game, and each boss has kind of like a shop that they run. And so that gives you the ability to kind of like go through the story and take over a property. And what it does is it associates the bosses with these properties, and it kind of really allowed us to kind of build this story around the missions, and you're fighting through to get to these bosses who are all associated with these particular shops. And it really helped us to really kind of flesh out that story and really add a lot of humor to the game itself.
Yeah, so you play through this quick mission segment and you have to fight a boss. The boss, after you defeat him, you get some really cool rewards. You get the boss's card. So these bosses are actually relevant in the game. It's not something you beat and throw away. You beat a strong boss, you get that strong boss's card to make your hand better. So that's kind of cool. The other thing is you acquire their property. Like John said, they all own a shop, so once you acquire it, that's how you earn income within the game. Now you become an earner, just like the mob, so it's kind of neat, kind of a cool concept. You also earn a bunch of free loot, and then to add to the social aspect, we allow you to actually invite your friends to help you defeat these bosses. If your friends come in and help, the boss gets defeated, they get a bunch of loot too. So everybody wins.
Another problem with these games are that most of the cards are pretty throwaway. So the player is just kind of waiting to kind of rid of the cards they just got so they can get new cards. And most of those cards have to be purchased. One of the things that we did differently in our game is we made the majority of the cards, like you can rank them up all the way. So instead of having to go buy the best cards from the store, you can actually rank your existing cards in addition to strengthening them. Another way that we really kind of innovated on the gameplay was to augment the player cards by adding 3 item slots. So it really kind of adds to both the fun of the game, and it really adds to the strategy.
Yeah, and strategy was one thing that we really wanted to incorporate here. A lot of these games are very lacking in that area because they stick to the 3-tier rule of attack, defense, and hit points. There's not a lot of room there for strategy when you don't have any other stats, adding any chance to the game. So what we decided to do was incorporate a 4th stat, and we named it Dexterity. Dexterity allows the player to have a critical hit chance, a dodge chance, and it also decides who strikes first in PvP and mob battle. So that was a very cool stat to add, and it adds a lot of depth to the play. Even though it's only one extra tier, the strategy is now there for the player to use. The other thing, as I just mentioned, is we did incorporate a mob. The clan is one thing that always was cool with these social games. because it allows a lot of players to connect. But I haven't seen it really done right in the genre. So what we did was we allow the player to create or join a mob of up to 61 real people. The cool thing with that is it allows a permanent connection to be able to trade cards with their mob members so that they can make their hands better that way. It also allows them to assist each other in boss battle, as we said before. So that adds another depth. You can hop in, help a guy out with a boss battle, get some rewards, and hop out if that's all the time you have. And it also gives you a chance to participate in daily mob battles. Every day at a specific time set by the mob boss, you can hop in there and fight another mob of up to 61 people. So that's really cool. So that's another thing that we did, to try to make us stand out.
One of the things about this game is we really put our hearts into it. When Michael and I were going through talking about the decisions that we were going to make with the game, we really tried to put ourselves in the place of the player. We really wanted to make a game that we thought was fun. We didn't want to make a game that you had to pay to win. We wanted to make an experience that was enjoyable and fun, and really just tried to take it like, what kind of game do we want to play?
Yeah, and I mean, that really helped us out. If we make a player's game, then it's rewarding for the player, and that's what we want to play, and that's what we hope you want to play. Bringing this game to life was a 2-year labor of love. I mean, it took a lot out of us. We worked day jobs all day, come home, take care of the family, and then John and I would stay up till 3 a.m. most nights just working on this. We developed over 300 character cards, 75 cars, hundreds of items, 150 bosses. That all came right from our pencil and paper. So that it was like I said, it was definitely coming right from our hearts. We overcome many obstacles. 2 years, John's family grew. We had problems with the first coders. We had to start fresh 3/4 of the way through. Everything you could think of got thrown at us, and we just kept pushing through. And looking back, it was all worth it. This is our dream come true. We love the game, and we hope you do too.
For more information on the game, you can follow us at MarioItalianoGame.com, or you can check out our blog at BooyaSquad.tumblr.com.